The shock heard around the world. Did that really just happen? It started, as royal bombshells often do, with a whisper that refused to stay quiet. A line buried deep in palace chatter. A casual comment from a well-placed source. A sudden flurry of frantic texts among royal reporters who never text frantically unless something big is about to break. And then came the headline that made even seasoned royal watchers sit up straight. Prince Harry got furious as King Charles confirmed a final decision to delete Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana from the line of succession. Forever. Forever. That one word landed like a thunderclap. Was this really happening? Had the British monarchy just drawn a line so bold, so permanent, that it effectively rewrote the future of two royal-born children? And perhaps more explosively, what did this mean for Prince Harry, the once beloved spare who had already walked away from royal life? If you felt a knot form in your stomach reading that headline, you're not alone. Because this isn't just about protocol or dusty constitutional rules. This is about family, about legacy, about pride, identity, and a father-son relationship that many believe is hanging by a thread. So buckle in, because the deeper you go, the more complicated, emotional, and frankly jaw-dropping this story becomes. And just when you think you understand it, another question appears. A royal line written in ink. Or etched in stone. To understand why this alleged decision feels so explosive, you first have to understand what the line of succession really represents. To outsiders, it's just a list. Names on a website. A historical formality most people scroll past without a second thought. But inside the royal family, it's everything. The line of succession is identity. It's relevance. It's a public acknowledgement that you matter to the future of the monarchy, even if you never sit on the throne. Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor and Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor were born into that lineage. From the moment Archie arrived in 2019, cameras clicked, headlines rolled, and history quietly adjusted to include him. Then came Lilibet in 2021, named after the Queen herself, a deeply personal choice that once seemed to symbolize enduring family ties. So the idea that these two children could be permanently removed from the succession line doesn't just raise eyebrows. It raises alarms. Is this simply administrative housekeeping? Or is it something far more personal? And more importantly, why now? This wasn't just paperwork. Why insiders say Harry exploded. According to multiple royal insiders, Prince Harry didn't just react emotionally. He erupted. Sources describe him as blindsided, furious, and deeply wounded. Less by the technical implications and more by what the move symbolized. To Harry, this wasn't about crowns or castles. It was about his children. Imagine, for a moment, being told, explicitly or implicitly, that your children no longer count. That their place in a centuries-old family narrative has been erased not by fate, but by decision. That's a hard pill for any parent to swallow. Insiders claim Harry saw this as a final door slamming shut. Not just between him and the institution, but between his children and their grandfather. And if that's true, the emotional stakes skyrocket. Because this wasn't a casual administrative update. It was framed as final. No reversals. No reconsiderations. No quiet reinstatements years down the line. Forever. But what could push King Charles, long known as a cautious, consensus-driven monarch, to take such a drastic step? King Charles and the crown. Duty before emotion? If Prince Harry's reaction was fueled by emotion, King Charles's alleged decision appears rooted in something else entirely: control, clarity, and consolidation. Since ascending the throne, Charles has made no secret of his desire to streamline the monarchy. Fewer working royals, clearer roles, tighter boundaries. From his perspective, a leaner monarchy is a stronger monarchy. Archie and Lilibet, living full-time in the United States and far removed from royal duties, represent a kind of ambiguity the palace despises. Are they royal? Are they private citizens? Are they symbolic figures, or potential future complications? Removing them from the succession line, insiders argue, eliminates confusion. But here's the catch. Clarity for the institution often feels like rejection to the individual. And that's where this story turns from procedural to painfully personal. Because no matter how rational the explanation sounds on paper, the human cost is impossible to ignore, especially when the people affected are children. The Sussex exit, the decision that changed everything. To truly grasp how we got here, you have to rewind to 2020. The moment Harry and Meghan announced they were stepping back as senior working royals, the royal universe shifted. At the time, many believed it was a temporary recalibration, a pause, a chance to breathe. Few predicted the avalanche that followed. The Oprah interview, the Netflix series, the memoir Spare, the lawsuits, the accusations, the silences. Each chapter widened the gap between the Sussexes and the rest of the family. And with every public revelation, the question grew louder. Can these two worlds coexist? According to palace insiders, the answer eventually became a firm no. By choosing a fully independent life, and by repeatedly criticizing the institution, Harry may have inadvertently triggered consequences he never anticipated for his children. And that realization, sources say, hit him hard. But was this outcome inevitable from the moment he walked away? Or could it have been avoided? Archie and Lilibet. Children caught in an adult war. Here's where the story becomes genuinely heartbreaking. Archie and Lilibet didn't choose any of this. They didn't choose palace politics. They didn't choose media storms. They didn't choose transatlantic family feuds. Yet they may be the ones paying the steepest price. Critics argue that removing them from the line of succession punishes children for adult decisions. Supporters counter that the monarchy must protect itself from future instability. Both sides make compelling points. But one uncomfortable truth remains. This isn't just a constitutional issue. It's a family fracture playing out on a global stage. And that raises an uncomfortable question many royal watchers are asking quietly. Is this how the monarchy wants to be remembered in the modern era? The public reaction, sympathy, shrugs, and side eyes. As news of the alleged decision spread, public reaction fractured almost instantly. Some expressed sympathy for Harry and his children, calling the move cold, unnecessary, and cruel. Others shrugged. They chose to leave, critics said. You can't have it both ways. Royal life isn't a buffet. Still others questioned whether the monarchy even matters enough anymore for this to be a genuine controversy. And yet, here we are, talking about it. Because no matter where you land, there's something undeniably compelling about watching centuries-old traditions collide with modern expectations of family, fairness, and emotional intelligence. And just when the debate seemed to settle into predictable camps, another question emerged. What does this mean for the future of the monarchy itself? A slimmed-down monarchy, or a risky gamble? King Charles's vision of a streamlined monarchy may make sense on paper. Fewer royals, less cost, clearer messaging. But critics warn it comes with risks. Removing younger generations from the royal narrative could accelerate the institution's drift into irrelevance. Without fresh faces, evolving stories, and generational continuity, the monarchy risks feeling frozen in time. Archie and Lilibet, had they remained connected, even symbolically, could have represented a bridge to a more global, diverse future. Instead, that bridge may now be permanently closed. And if that's the case, the long-term consequences could be far more significant than one angry prince or one hurt family. Prince Harry's crossroads. What happens next? So where does Prince Harry go from here? Insiders suggest this alleged decision marked a psychological breaking point. Not because it surprised him, but because it confirmed his worst fears. That reconciliation may no longer be possible. That his children's connection to the royal family exists now only in name and history books. That the door he once hoped to reopen has been locked from the inside. What does a man do when both his past and his children's future feel rejected? That's the question hovering over every Sussex move right now. More interviews? More revelations? Or finally, silence? Whatever Harry chooses next could define not just his legacy, but how this entire saga is remembered. And here's the twist no one talks about enough. Sometimes, the loudest statement is walking away completely. The bigger picture, tradition versus humanity. At its core, this story isn't just about royals. It's about what happens when institutions value structure over sentiment, and whether that trade-off is sustainable in the modern world. Can tradition survive without compassion? Can legacy endure without flexibility? And can a family truly move forward when its youngest members are caught in the crossfire? These are questions far bigger than Buckingham Palace. They resonate with anyone who's ever felt pushed out of a family narrative, sidelined by decisions they didn't make, or forced to choose between personal happiness and inherited expectations. That's why this story sticks. It feels uncomfortably human. Final thoughts. A decision that won't be forgotten. Whether confirmed officially or left hanging in the realm of palace whispers, one thing is clear. This alleged decision has already done its damage. It has hardened lines. It has deepened wounds. It has reshaped how millions see the future of the monarchy and the family at its center. And perhaps most tragically, it has ensured that Archie and Lilibet's royal story will always come with an asterisk. Not because of who they are, but because of the world they were born into.